Well, I don't have much of an update for the theater. Very little. Had a little bit of time here, but I got some other things done instead. This thing is finally up and running. I didn't find it to have very good cable management, so I put this cable chain thing on here. Problem is, if I put the air assist tubing in there, it makes it too stiff, so got to come up with another way to do that. Maybe find I got a smaller tubing there, 3/16 that's also a little bit softer. That might work inside the cable chain. I'm also working on another project. I'm going to build a set of Alta-Glanzing Model 19 replicas. And having to machine and make some of that stuff myself. This is a plate from an original crossover here. It's got this nameplate on it and stuff, and the crossover would be mounted on the back. I machined this one. That's just painted. It's going to need to be anodized, and this is just a practice one. I machined that on the CNC out of a 6mm thick piece of aluminum. The actual thickest point is 4mm, so I've got some 4mm aluminum coming, but it hasn't come in yet. Also, I'm trying to replicate this thing with the laser. With that one, it's not quite cut all the way through the anodization and leaves it kind of a gold tint. Actually, I think I might like it a little better that way. But anyway, so this thing's working. I've owned it for, it'll be a year later this month, and I just got it up and running a few days ago. So I actually cut a rib for a square saw, a model glider. So, but anyway, that's one of the things I got done. As far as the theater, I've done a little bit of work. Well, the rear speakers are up and playing, but I've done a little bit of work for the grills to go on the sides of the side speakers. Okay, so these are a little bit further along. I had to actually, I don't know if you can see it with it painted. There's a 1/2 inch wide piece there and a 1/4 inch wide piece there. These were actually originally made the same dimension as the sides of the speaker. The idea being that I would put grill cloth on them and then cut this 1/4 inch wide trim piece for the front edge and the 1/2 inch ones for the ends. That would go on top of that and be trimmed with that stained oak, like I had those little columns before. But since I've moved away from that design, I went ahead, and it's actually going to be a lot easier to not try to put something like that on top of grill cloth. So I went ahead and put that 1/4 inch piece and those 1/2 inch pieces on the ends, and also put these back on the CNC and kept these pockets for the magnets. And then upstairs, I've put the little washers that came with the magnets on the sides of the speakers. Okay, so there's one of the frames that I got for building the Altic Model 19s. That was actually a 421 woofer. You can see the cone that was in it over there. That's the wrong woofer, but it is the correct frame and magnet for a 416C. So I'll be putting in a cone to make that into a 416, which is, I think these are 416Bs in the A7s here. So this little vented dust cap is kind of a problem because none of the aftermarket cones have the right one. So I found a guy on eBay that sent me some with no screen, and I found a medical supply place that has a screen that's almost 100% match. So I'm going to have to make essentially the dust caps and then put that with an aftermarket cone rebuild kit. So, and then put them in. That's just one of, I think I've got 4 or 5 421s that I got on eBay, and then got a 811B horn, which came with these. I think that's an 806 compression driver, also the wrong one. But I got these 902s from Japan on eBay. So, and then here's the other 811 over here. That'll go in the Model 19s. So that's like, I need another project besides the theater. But so that's what I've got going on parallel with the theater. Working on ideas for the Atmos, got these old MCM 10-inch woofers. Thinking about putting those in some kind of a box that goes up into the attic and the ceiling. Got these Dayton 2-inch domes, and then these little Hi-Vi tweeters. So I'm not sure if that's what I'm going to use for Atmos, but that's one of the things I'm considering. So I've got those laid out to think about what I might do with those. Okay, so on the side speakers, I've got these little washers. They've got like a little countersink for the screw so it doesn't interfere with the magnet sticking to it. One possible issue with just the magnets holding that, it's possible the grills may try to, slide down. So I'm thinking on the bottom here, I'm going to put like a little plate under there that will extend out for the grill to set on, and then put an LED light that shines down on the floor at the bottom of each one of the speakers like that. So those are all, I've got those all done. So as soon as I get those grill frames ready, I can get that going. Now, one thing that's a problem when I get this all set up with the Flex Mini DSP, which is balanced, with the exception of coming out of it into the Bass X, which is driving the side speakers. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's a very faint hum. That's new. That was not there until noticed it on this trip home. So I'm thinking about still got those two Bass X's. I've got a bunch of channels unused on this one over here, but it's all it's 14 channels. It's all the lower power channels, so it's probably enough. But and I don't remember how many I used on the center speaker. I think it's like 6 maybe. No, more than that. Anyway, there's a bunch of channels there that I could use if they're enough power, but hey, I can't really tell back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like only 6 of the channels are used. So there's plenty of channels there. But I mean, they could probably be fine for Atmos, especially if I use those high efficiency drivers out there. But I might just go ahead and order a couple more XPAs and put one on each side to cover like the side speakers and the rear speakers. And also the additional, those woofers in the back are still not integrated into the system yet. So I could use, one channel for each of these side speakers and one for the rear, so that's 4, and then one for 2 of the 4 woofers up there, and then do the same thing over there. So a couple of 5-channel XPAs or something, and then pull those Bass X's out. Bass X is a good amplifier. It's just being single-ended, you can run into problems like him. So anyway, sorry I don't have more of an update or more progress, but didn't have a whole lot of time at home. Had other things I had to do, and then I kind of got wanting to get that laser up and running since I realized I'd owned it for basically a year and hadn't done anything with it. So I'm kind of glad I've got that going. But I'm leaving town again tomorrow morning, but this time I'm not going to New Mexico or to Oregon. I'm going to Hiroshima, Japan. So, and I'll be in Japan until, I think it's May the 11th probably, or 12th, and then come back, and then 3 or 4 days later, start driving toward Oklahoma City first to visit with an old college friend, and then on up to Wichita, Kansas, to start my storm chasing vacation with Brandon Ivy. That's stormchasingtours.com if you want to go storm chasing sometime. Brandon's probably the best tour guide out there for storm chasing. He knows his stuff really well. So again, that's stormchasingtours.com. That's where I'll be a few days after this upcoming trip to Japan. And taxi's picking me up pretty early in the morning, and I'm not done packing yet. So that's going to be it for this update. That's it.